I'm not here to instill any fear, any paranoia. I'm just here to spread what is true. And that is why I always warn you from the beginning that prepare your ears and prepare your hearts. Yield to God. Pray first before you listen to these words, and ask God for the navigation over your soul, because these are deep, cutting truths. Now, what happens to a person who eats a defiled meal? Because some people would be currently like, well, it's food, it's not that bad. Think twice, because this is what's going to happen. Now, let's get deeper. Now, in the Bible, we know that God's people, we're not supposed to eat particular foods because they were defiled. And when they ate clean foods, they were well, right? They were okay. God was okay with that. Now, when they ate defiled food or did anything reckoned as defiled according to God himself, there was a huge process that they had to undergo in order to undo that. And I know that, I mentioned a lot of things, in the first video. So trust that whole entire thing, right, wasn't for just sake. These things have spiritual connotations, and that's what God knew. Hence why when there was something unclean that happened, they had to go through a particular process in order to have that erased from defiling their spirits. And this is the same with food. Pay attention to food. Now, let me tell you something. There are certain foods that are attached to certain spirits, curses, certain contaminations, either physically or spiritually. And when it comes to physically, it's contaminations where, like, there's food poisoning. Just like food poisoning as a whole doesn't mean that a person had to come and spike your food or do anything to your food. Even drinks, be careful. So it doesn't mean that someone just put poison in your food and just wants you to die and all that. In some cases, yes, but food poisoning more so is what happened in the process of the food making that poisoned the food. Hence why when you eat the food, your whole entire body doesn't react well, and your whole entire body is rejecting this food, reacting so badly because it messed up with the system. Now, if food poisoning has that effect, imagine spiritual poisoning. There are people who have wicked hearts, and this is as of Proverbs 23 verse 6 to 8, and as well as 1 to 3, if I'm not mistaken, or 1 to 4. Now, there are people who poison food in the spirit through their hearts, through their wicked ways, through putting something in your food, knowing very well that whatever they're putting in your food on the process has a spiritual connotation. It's just like spells and stuff. People who curse your food, people who chant over your food, people who do these things all the more to present the food to you. That's why you need to be very careful. And especially even at stores, and not just stores, like restaurants sometimes. We are not always sure that people are of God or people operate by the Holy Spirit. There are certain people who are agents of the enemy, and there are certain people who contain evil spirits within them, and they can't help but do bad. Especially when you go out, maybe restaurants or going to get food somewhere. Be mindful of the fact that you're a child of God, and any spirit that is not of God will always be triggered by you. And the enemy may use any type of outlet or any type of way to get to destroy you. And one of those ways can be using the very same people that you would get your food from to contaminate them with what they think about you and the motives behind their hearts. Beware of the food that you eat and pray over it. Remove the contamination with prayer. And when you still feel like you don't need to eat a particular food, even after praying that the contamination be removed, then there's something really wrong that God is showing you, and God is telling you, and God is prompting you in your spirit, and you need to let it go. Let it go, no matter how much you had to pay, and let it go. No matter where it came from, no matter who was going to complain, let it go. It's either that or your life. Sometimes it's a matter of life and death. It's SOS, spit or swallow. Literally. You better make sure that you remain clean. And by remaining clean, you stay away some things you aren't even supposed to consume or aren't even supposed to entertain. Be led by the Holy Spirit when it comes to these things, okay? Don't just go about doing your thing.